Okay, so let's dive in and let me introduce my first guest speaker, Erica Upperrose. So Erica Upperrose and I, we met some times ago as I was attending one of her courses, and let me just amazing course, and I was like, Erica, you should come, you should definitely come and be a speaker of my summit. And now I'll tell you why. Erica is an associate professor in philosophy or religion at Lund University. Sorry if I mispronounced the name, in Sweden. And in 2019, she started her business in order to be able to do more of what she loves doing, which is teaching, accelerated learning skills, and decision making. So decision making, and I was struck. I said, Erica, yes, decision making. I think that nowadays is one of the most important skills to have, in place and to have trained, because we make decision every single moment of our life. And Erica, I don't remember how many, 30, whatever. I cannot pronounce numbers in English, but and it's difficult to make decision. It's often difficult to make decision in normal regular times, and it's even more difficult to make decision in this time. So Erica, welcome. And again, so please tell us how you decided to get involved with such a compelling and important theme.
Thank you, Angela, and it's a joy to have met you and get to know you a little. You're a bundle of energy and joy. Thank you, and it's an honour to be here as your guest.
Thank you.
And I guess why I started to interest myself in decision making would be perhaps the same reason why a person would start teaching weight loss, because they've been there, they've done that, and they want to share how not to be there. I was a lousy decision maker for almost my entire life. And as a young person, sort of in my 20s, my teens, my 20s, I actually practiced not to want things, because I wanted to do the best. I wanted to make the best decision, to follow what is good and right and Christian, to be honest. And to do that, I thought I must suppress my own wishes, my own wants and needs and things. And that was absolutely not the right way to go, as I know now. Because to be able to make good decisions, you first of all, you need to know what you want, where you want to go. Otherwise, it would be like sitting in that car you mentioned, Angela. You're sitting by the steering wheel and not having a clue of where you're going. It's no use, is it? So you need to know where you're going. And they say that there's only one certain thing that we know is certain, and that is death. I would say that I'm very, very certain about at least one other thing, and that is that I am alive. How could I otherwise ever die? So I am alive, and I'm driving this car. I'm sitting at the steering wheel, and at the moment, after all these years, I've practiced, and I think I know more about the map. I know where I am. I'm more focused on where I want to go. But then there are the uncertainties in this certain life. There are so many uncertainties. There are, the bumps on the road. Suddenly a road is shut off for traffic and you can't go there anymore. You have to reroute all of a sudden, find a new way. So what do we do in the face of uncertainties? That's a good question. And
what do we do? Yeah, this is a good question. I want to take some of your points, because the right decision, we always want to make the right decision, as if this were the last decision in our life. And sometimes we don't think that we can course correct our decisions, and we don't make a decision because we have to make the right decision. Okay, So first of all, yeah, what is the right decision? You said, okay, there is a the right decision, if I can understand it correctly, is the decision that is aligned with what you want. But then you have to know what you want.
Yes, I mean, that's the very prerequisite. I mean, it's not to make any decision, you need to know where you want to go. But for it to be the right decision, because there may be many roads that will take you from where you are now to where you want, because where you want to go is the destination. And there may be, the decision is all about choosing the route. You go by car, you go by plane, you go by boat, you could have a walk, maybe you could take a lifetime to go there, or you could hire a jet plane. So it's all about making the right decision, is to choose the right route that would take you to your destination with the highest, the highest likelihood of a good outcome, sort of preventing the uncertainty, not preventing the uncertainties, but making the best plan so that you can handle the uncertainties when they come up. Can I tell you about what happened? Just a short story about what happened many years ago. It's in another time, another life,
Sure.
and with another partner, I must say, than my present love of my life. You see, we were planning our wedding reception with 40 people, and at our house, it wasn't very big, so we wanted to be outside in the garden. And safeguard for the weather, because there are only two uncertain things in life, and that's the weather and its politicians, in the reverse order. But we bought a party tent. We put it up in the garden and set it all up with tables and drinks and snacks and things ready to be served when we returned from church. So off we went and back we came. And when we came back, the whole big party tent, it was firmly affixed, but not to the ground anymore, but to the apple tree foliage, high up without reach. It was a very windy day, if I didn't say that. So we didn't get any shelter for the unpredicted rain, the uncertainty of the weather, but we did get some very convenient conversation starters for our guests, and we did get a good story to tell for years to come. And they do say that a bad decision make a good story, which could be a consolation. But was it a bad decision to put up the party tent in a rainy, windy day? Was it a bad decision to plan to have an outdoor reception? I mean, those are the kinds of questions that we wanted to know. Should we have made another decision? And why? What is it that makes a decision good or bad, or right or wrong? That is what I am very interested in.
Yeah, and also going back to your party, given that you decided to host the party, what could you have done? You know, like if to considering the weather. I mean, could it rain? Probably yes or no. Let's buy umbrellas for everybody and stay outside under the umbrella. I mean,
exactly, that one thing you could do to prepare for the uncertainties. That's just a very good thing to do. And what you do, I mean, there is, and this is a very simple example. And in our businesses, many of we fear that we make the wrong decisions, and in that context, the wrong decision will, of course, have more dire consequences than just the guests becoming wet. I mean, it might affect our livelihood or our health, reputation, and a whole lot more things. So no wonder, I mean, we may not lay sleepless over a garden party, but over this, we may, you know, lay awake and wonder, did I do the right thing? Did I choose the right thing? So if I could flip a sort of magic wand to remove that fear, or remove the uncertainty of the future, I would do it. Or maybe not remove the uncertainty of the future, because that would be rather boring, don't you think?
Yeah,
to know everything.
Yeah, I love adventure. Yeah. So as you know, sometimes I decide very quickly and without, thinking too much on what are the consequences. and probably it's a rejection of something that happened during my years at my family business. So we had all these managers and nobody was deciding anything because they wanted to get the right decision. So I'm also wondering, is it more important to get the right decision or to follow the right process for decision making?
Mm-hmm. That is a very good question. And that is the question that is at the center of the matter, as I see it. Because if you make the distinction between the decision-making process and the outcome of the decision, that could change your sleepless nights to sleeping nights, really, because the latter, the outcome, is completely outside of your control.
Yeah.
And while, of course, it may be difficult not to worry about it, nevertheless, because we tend to worry, but the insight, the realization that it is beyond your control may make it less worrying, less fearful, and thus letting you spend more of your energy in more constructive things, such as improving your decision-making process, because that is the only thing you do have control over. That is what you can fine-tune, what you can perfect to become more skillful and making the kinds of decisions that stack the odds of a good outcome in your favor. Can I exemplify this with another example?
Sure.
And to make it simple again, let's go for not the politicians because they are too uncertain, but let's go for the weather again. So imagine that I'm going to plan for a week-long dance festival half a year from now. So it's going to be outdoors in Sweden. And in my part of the world, the weather is really more unpredictable than the politicians. So that is the worst scenario. And let's say that I can choose between the first week of September and the second week of September. And as we're going to dance outdoors, I don't want it to rain. That's my only preoccupation. Other things are equal. So how I want the best possible weather. How do I go about deciding which week to choose? Do you have any suggestions? You can put it in the chat. How could I decide half a year from now, I don't want it to rain? What can I do? Do you have any suggestions?
Great question. Yeah, pop it in the chat. Whoever has a suggestion, pop this in the chat. And meanwhile, I read some comments.
Mm-hmm.
So, Anil writes, decision is all about choosing a route. That's it, getting going on some direction. Any decision made is meant to be good decision in the moment. Yeah. When you do make a decision and move forward, the outcomes of your action will determine whether it was really a right decision. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I'm curious to know the answer to your question.
Yeah, no suggestions? I mean, I could of course try to remember.
Pick a rainy date.
Pick a rainy date. Yeah, I could try to remember past Septembers and sort of say, okay, I remember once in 1997, the first week of September, it rained all the week. So I think I'm going to choose the second week. But would that be a good way to go about it?
Mm-hmm.
Not really, because that is the availability bias at play with me. We've got these subconscious biases and things that are extraordinary, such as if it was raining for a whole week in a row, they tend to be on top of my memory. And I also tend to think that they are more likely to happen again. They are more probable, but they're not. I just forget the other weeks in September. So that's not a good way to do it. What I could do, and nobody has suggested it, I could do some research on how the weather has been for the past 10 years, 20 years, if I wanted to. That could be fairly easy, couldn't it? Just to look at the weather reports, the statistics, and you just see which week has got the best track record for having good weather and the least rain. So let's pretend that I find out that the first week in September has a 30% risk for rain, and the second week has a 50% risk for rain. So which one should I choose? Which one should I choose? The first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the obvious. There's only 30% risk for rain. It sounds so silly and simple and easy. But let's say I make that decision and we all agree it was a good decision. So, right, fast forward now for 6 months, and it's the first week of September, and the rain is pouring down 4 days in a row. The dancers, they are soaking wet. The hair is dripping with water. Everyone is freezing cold. They want a refund, and it's a disaster. So now what do you say? Was my decision a bad decision? Or was it still a good decision?
It was still a good decision, but as Anil is suggesting, there should have been a B plan.
Yes, I should have had another plan. But the outcome was very bad. And I mean, to make things worse, imagine that in the second week of September, the sun comes out and it's warm and sunny and everything dries up. And I risk saying to myself, why didn't I choose the second week? I made a bad choice. I may feel that way and blame myself, but I did make the best choice I could under the circumstances, didn't I? What happened was that the 30% risk of rain actually did happen. And if I had chosen the second week of September, the outcome would have been brilliant for my dance festival, but that wouldn't have made it a good decision. It's so important to make that distinction between the decision process and the outcome of the decision.
Yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
Erika, while I'm asking everybody that's here if they have questions and to put them in the chat, I would like in the last 10 minutes that we have, why locked into September, pick a week that never rains. Yeah, it was just an example. Okay, yeah, but it's a good idea. Maybe it's somebody's birthday and they want to I don't know, or there is like a national whatever holidays or something like this, so there is something, the date is fixed.
Yes, but if everything else is equal,
yeah,
let's say that I do the festival 10 years in a row, and if I always pick the first week with the 30% risk for rain, I would have 7 years of sunny festivals and 3 years of rainy festivals, statistically. But if I choose the second week, I will have 5 years of sunny festivals and 5 years of rainy festivals. So if I always choose the first week in September, I will have made the right decision, and I will know that 30% of the time it will rain and I can buy some umbrellas for my participants.
Yeah. There are some comments in the chat. I would also like to say that, because there was somebody saying, oh, watch out, analysis paralysis. I would also like to say that Erika is teaching that it's not only rational decision, but there is also another part that is very important to take into consideration, right?
What did you mean? Sorry,
I mean intuition.
Oh yes, of course, intuition.
I studied your course.
You did, you certainly did. Yes, there are so many things to take into this decision-making process. To stack the odds of a good outcome in your favor is to make a good decision. And to do that, you need to take a lot of things into account. You need to have your values in place to know where you're going and what criteria you need to use to choose the right road. You need to have a list of options to choose from, not being stuck to only the car. Maybe there's a plane to go to. You need to know how to evaluate them, risk analysis, and above all, you need to listen to your intuition. You need to how to tap into your gut feelings and to know when to trust it, when to take that immediate blink of an eye moment where you meet a person and you immediately know this is the person I can trust, or this is the person I cannot trust. So if you, and so when you've gone through all that and made a decision, taken everything you know into account, you've done everything you can do, everything that's in your power. And in that confidence, I would suggest that you could go ahead and enjoy your dulce vita instead of tossing and turning in your bed, worrying if you made the right decision, because you did make the right decision. The rest is in the hands of the uncertain future.
Yeah, very powerful. And since I've just said, and I just suggested to put into practice whatever everybody hears that is interesting, I would like you to introduce, since you are offering a free gift to the participant of this event, I would like you to introduce your gift and to talk about your programs.
Okay, thank you. Yes, you can download a free PDF, which is called 2 Steps that will immediately make you will instantly make you a better decision maker, where I give you 2 tips that you can do that will put you on the path towards improving your decision making skills. And it's all about reducing your risk for decision fatigue and how to get into the practice of getting feedback to your decisions so that you can improve them. And if you want to take more, put some more energy into fine-tuning your decision-making skills, I offer a course which is called Decision-Making Strategies, of course. Decision-Making Strategies for Less Stress and Regret. It's 6 weeks, and you can find information on it on the website. Can I put it in the chat?
Yes, definitely. And I would also like to say that on Sunday, Floriana, tell me if it's right, everybody will receive an email with all the links of all the freebies from every speaker, so that you have everything in one place and you can start putting them exercising on whatever. Okay, Erika, so thank you very much for being here and for having accepted my invitation. And what is saying, Claudia, it's great, it has changed now, I make decision. Yes, I can say too that I understood some, especially my biases and, something that was wrong in my decision-making process. So yes, I really recommend to download the PDF and to check out what Erika is offering. So Erika, thank you very much again.
Thank you very much, Angela, and thank you, Claudia, for your great comment on my course. The next start is the 5th of April. That's the next course start. Thank you very much, Angela, and thanks for being here and listening. Thanks.
And thank you.